guys, Aromie here. Welcome back to our life. We're here in step 3 with Liz, who is fucking beautiful. You refocus on getting last pieces back to where they belonged. You eventually moved on to a new chore, but that was interrupted by the sound of your cell phone. It was the phone's default ringtone. You had used a silly novelty song as the ringtone. You'd set one of your most beloved songs as your ringtone. The phone was set to just vibrate. One of my silly novelty songs. Because all of my ringtones for like my friends are all like Haikyuu sings. Like, it's very stupid. Alright. You casually picked it up from the table where you had placed it earlier. The phone was a couple years old at this point, having been a 16th birthday gift from your parents. They decided which model to get, but you got to pick the color. It was pink, and it was just a phone. Didn't do anything to decorate it, and it had a special charm attached to it, which was, oh dude, the crab keychain Cove bought you when you were a kid. A lantern based on the game Malika Voices, a sponge shell, a crystal, a heart, a music note, a cat face, a string of beads. Dude, as much as I would love it for to be a heart, I think the crab keychain is the cutest thing. You were pleased when you finally had a prominent place to use the gift. The screen lit up as you gave the little device a swipe with one finger. You were informed by the caller ID that it was Lee. You weren't surprised. Despite having busier and busier lives and not living in the same town, you still had a good relationship with your cousin of the same age. Especially once the miracle of the both of you having your own phones actually happened. She got hers first though. Tapping on the accept button, you answered her call. A familiar bubbly voice came through right after. Hi. Look how pretty she is! Look at my cute crab! Wow! Hey Michiko! What's up? I trust I'm not interrupting anything major. Dude, you're so pretty! And look at my little crab. Only some cleaning around the house. Oh, then you're welcome for my call. A distraction from that must have been desperately needed. Yeah, thank you, my dear cousin. Hey, I love doing chores, he joked. I like cleaning. You protested earnestly. It's good to hear from you. Even though she couldn't see it, you shook your head at that. It's good to hear from you. Right? She giggled and you could hear the jangling of the jewelry she must be wearing. Nothing amazing is happening for me either. I'm bored and I felt like chatting. My morning shift ended, so I'm free for the rest of the day. Woo! That's good. You're off from your part-time job today. You hadn't started working anywhere yet, so you couldn't relate. I don't think I would work yet. Like, straight after high school, I didn't like find a job right away. Unlike you, Lee had started dipping her toes into the workforce as of late. It may have been keeping in touch frequently even more complicated, but you both managed. What about you? This is pretty normal. Cool. That's you then. Sue, how's Mr. Cove Holden doing? There was a teasing bent to her tone. She was never willing to let up what was going on between the two of you. What is going between the two of us, though? But that name was incredibly familiar to your ears. Cove, your next door neighbor, for the past decade at this point. While the two of you were close, that was all you could think of it on it. He was your best friend, at least. You had admitted you felt more than that just yet. He was an important friend, but you secretly hoped he'd tell you he felt more than that. You were in love with him, but didn't want to talk about that at this point of your life. But he was far more than just someone who lived on the same street. He was your boyfriend. Oh, you could just straight out choose that? I don't want to, though. I want him to ask us. Is that a thing? Can he ask us to be his girlfriend? Or is this it? No, there has to be a way for him to ask. He was an important friend, but you secretly hoped he'd tell you he felt more than that. Cove was so very special to you. You could only dream that it was mutual. You knew you wouldn't be able to tell him that, though. Maybe he would take the plunge. Are you even surviving without the boy being 10 feet away at all times? Or is everything right with the world again and he's back? No, Lee, he isn't here. Just like he wasn't here yesterday or the last time you asked or the time before that. Sorry. Wait, where is he? My bad, can you blame me? Doesn't it seem like he should have made his grand return already? Plus, I want to visit soon and he needs to be there too. Yo, I want to see Lee too. You could understand where she was coming from. This was certainly outside the norm. For the past couple months and the last few weeks especially, Cove had been going to his mom's place in Nevada. Oh. I can't blame him for that. The two of you still regularly stayed in contact over text and calls, but still. Yo, this is a time where no FaceTime existed yet? Damn it. Your mind began to drift back in time to all the prior trips he'd taken to visit her. Almost every year he'd have to go away for a while and then he'd be back. It made you sad and lonely when it happened. You never minded it. It was kind of nice to have breaks away from each other. You weren't a fan, but made do. It was just shitty. It upset you. Your younger self worried about him leaving for good. It made me sad and lonely when it happened. You sent him letters the entire time he was away. Your mom's helped you ship out care packages to him and his mom. You gave him special treasures to take with him before he left. You kept an eye on his house for him while he wasn't there. You were incapable of doing anything until he was back. No, I think shipping out care packages is cute. My brother made me one before. I should make one for him and just randomly send it to him. It was always full of really great stuff. He sent you regular letters in return. That's how it was in the past, but lately he had been trying to see her as much as he could before taking long trips to another state became too impractical to do. His part-time work could become full-time soon, or he could be moving somewhere else for school. Cove hadn't actually been entirely clear what his plans were after graduation. Cove was hesitant to speak on that, even with you. It couldn't be avoided forever, though. You both knew that. Well, maybe we should switch this up to a non-Cove related topic. That works. I'm running where this other candidate is coming in at. We have yet to see him. I believe his name is Baxter. The rest of the conversation rolled on. Not much longer though. Lee had to go, and you needed to finish your responsibilities around the house. The both of you exchanged goodbyes, then you went back to what you'd been working on before the call came in. Wow. Elizabeth. Why are you so pretty? As you wrapped up the last of your chores, you were approached by Liz wearing a cheeky smile. I've got Mom's keys. When I get out of this tiny town and do some shopping in a real city? Yeah, it's been way too long since I've gone anywhere exciting.
Good.
I'm driving. Fine, I don't like driving anyway. That was obvious. You didn't know how to drive. You were glad for that. You still just had a learner's permit. Even though you could drive too, it was her plan. She could do it if she wanted. It was nice of her to do that. You had a license, but try to avoid driving when possible. Very true. Go get your wallet and anything else. We're going now. With a nod, you made a quick detour to collect your stuff from your bedroom. You had money saved up from gifts you'd received. After making sure you both were fully prepared for the long haul to the largest city in the surrounding area, you buckled into the car. It was a smooth ride there, with light conversation about what shops to stop at and the radio blasting. The trip there breezed by in what felt like no time. You had gone from cruising down the road to cruising through the mall. Liz had her interests to check out and you and yours. Your hobbies and skills were different. Were still the ones you developed when you were younger. You had gotten into new things since you'd grown up. What were my interests? I went literally everywhere. My interests are still the same as I was a teenager, so I'm gonna go with that. When turning a corner down a new length of the mall, your eyes caught on a little gift store. Your friends and family had recently given you many presents for graduating high school. You realized you wanted to get a graduation gift yourself to give to Cove. You had a gift of your own ready to give to Cove when the chance came. You really appreciate what you had gotten. I feel like I would have already have a gift for Cove. But like this allows us to pick it, right? I don't know. We're gonna choose the first option just to see if we can actually pick something. Graduation may have already come and gone, but Cove wasn't really around them anyway. You'd keep an eye for something good, though you might have something nice for him at home already. Oh. Okay. Let's go back then. It was something you had known you wanted to do, and you were looking forward to seeing his reaction. Okay. Eventually the mall was explored in full, with every shop of note being checked over. Rather than going home, you decided to walk over to some smaller stores nearby. Look how pretty this area is. Then even the cloud is like, or is that the sun rays? I thought the cloud was moving for a second. Liz had many thoughts on that topic. Honestly, malls are not a bastion of society. Even if smaller stores require extra distance, the brands are so much more. Then your sister abruptly stopped speaking and walking right in the middle of the path. It was a good thing no one was behind her. She seemed to entirely shut off for a moment. Liz? The attempt to catch her attention was unsuccessful. Something else had all her focus. Oh, did you see a hot stud? Are you seeing your love at first sight? Before you could puzzle out what might be happening, she began to mumble out the corner of her mouth. Michiko, don't draw attention, but look. Don't draw attention, but look. Yo, I'll make it obvious as fuck then. Don't do that to me. What? With a harsh whisper and a subtle jerk of her head, she urged you once more. Hey. Look! You followed her. Okay! You followed her gaze as best as you could to a large bunch of colorful teens strolling down the same path. Okay. You faced back over to your sister with a confused expression and unspoken question. What are you supposed to be seeing there? Michiko, doesn't one of them seem familiar? I don't see anyone, sis. She was practically bouncing at this point, so you looked the group over again, and this time you saw what she was seeing. Oh! It's Shiloh! Dude! You like him? Do you like him? I'm sure he still likes you. Amongst the collection of strangers was brown hair, gray eyes, and lots of freckles. Dude! Shiloh! I don't think Shiloh ranked high on my list of XOXO droplets. That's Shiloh. Our Shiloh from when we were kids. Yep, that was definitely him. I can't believe it. He's honestly just there. That's hilarious. That's incredible. Oh, but how do we talk to him? We'd have to pull him away from all those other people, and what if I'm wrong? Wait, Liz being nervous? That's so unlike her. Your mouth opened to reply, but she cut it off with her own answer to the question. I've got it. I'll shout the name Shiloh, and then we can act like it wasn't us. If you respond to that, we'll know without a doubt it's him. Michiko, keep an eye out to see if he looks. Liz, can't you just try talking to him normally? We're not doing that. It's a terrible idea. Why do I have to be the one who watches? Let's try it. Fine, you didn't even know how to react. Liz, can't you just try talking to him normally? Luckily, without even hearing what you had to say, Liz put her plan into action. I always forget that Liz isn't doing what we say anyway. She's okay. Shiloh! She loudly projects the word across the way and then put on an act of casualness, turning her head away from the scene while brushing at the skirt of her dress. In a supremely awkward moment, you could only stand there as the tension in the air shifted to the two of you thanks to your sister's shout. But of the many startled bystanders who became altered to your presence, one of them was the boy. From a distance, his large eyes met yours. He looked. Now what? What do you want me to do now? A wide grin took over Liz's face. She pushed the rim of her sun hat and away from her face while swishing back around to greet her old friend directly. Shiloh! Waving, she stepped a bit closer to express her attention and meet without really closing the gap. She wanted him to come to her. Dude, she's so pretty, Shiloh. You better come over here. Who you presume to be Shiloh looked surprised at the call out. He stole a quick glance at the crowd he was with and hesitantly glanced back your way. He was trying to double check something. Liz remained steadfast with her gaze trained on him, and ultimately he broke away from the rest of them. Oh my god, Shiloh, you look so small next to Liz. After a light-footed jog across the brick path, the young man pleasantly presented himself in front of Liz and you.
Hi.
I like your hat. Oh right, Shiloh loves hats. Just that simple greeting had Liz giggling. Oh my god, giggling. Hello. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I'm Lizzie, and that's Michiko. We were all friends when we were little kids. His already wide-eyed eyes grew even larger, their gaze darting between you and Liz. His previously chipper demeanor faded into something delicate. I'm really sorry, but I think you have the wrong person. Oh, Dooley! Why'd you come over here? Does your name also happen to be Shiloh? You could tell not being instantly recognized was going to make this exchange more of a challenge. Still, Liz was undeterred. It was a long time ago. You're really young. I get why you feel like that. However, I'm positive I'm right. You're exactly the same. That face, the freckles, how generally you try to phrase things. You're even still wearing a hat. Baby Shiloh was so fucking cute. Instinctively, he looked up at his headwear with creased brows, not making the connection on why the hat meant something to her.
Okay.
We knew each other, okay? Liz, why are you so adamant about telling him, like, hey, we know each other? An uneasy smile settled on him as the silence followed Liz's speech. He was picking his next words carefully. And then the quiet was obliterated by a new voice bursting into the conversation. Shiloh, what are you doing? The rest of the group already left. A field trip is not a vacation. We're on schedule. Yo, who is that? Saw her head snap towards the path. A distinctively unhappy individual with piercing magenta eyes, dark brown skin, and a sharp jaw. Yo, is it Nate? Is it Nate? Stormed your way. He carried a cloud of authority with him, despite looking like he wasn't even 18 yet.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to ditch. Shiloh, whose name was now officially confirmed, gestured with a hand to add the explanation of his absence as the stranger watched impatiently. They thought they recognized me as someone they knew, but it was a tiny misunderstanding. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's theoretically as well as literally put her foot down at that, stopping her frustration and getting more childish the longer she was around her childhood companion.
Come on.
We do know you. Shiloh merely shrunk in on himself. The tone he spoke with was pained. Sorry. You honestly couldn't tell if he was apologizing for the upset feelings of your sister or the palpable dissatisfaction of his new acquaintance. That in itself was very Shiloh-like. Oh, you know him. Is that it? The stranger spoke in it has to be Nate, in a dismissively scoffing tone, and as if the words sounded so absurd to him. It was almost amusing, but the sternness of his demeanor quickly reinstated itself. Well, do you know me? I'll tell you. I'm someone who has been forced against his will to be aware of what's going on in Shiloh's ridiculous personal life for a year. If the two of you had any importance in his general day-to-day existence, it would have come up by now. Don't bother trying to exaggerate any trivial connection you might have. It's not good enough. He's with us and you'll survive without him. Now stop loitering in the road. It's rude.
Excuse me?
We're the rude ones? The high-strung ranting got an audible gasp from Shiloh, who finally started to speak up again in defense. Nate, that's really mean. I knew it was Nate. Nate was the one I first pursued in XOXO Droplets, I believe. And I don't think he ranked pretty high. Maybe he ended up being second. And then Everett was first. I don't fucking know. But anyhow, this is where we're going to stop for today's episode. I'm wondering where Cove is at. Still looking for my baby boy, but okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.